What's this?
I'm sure everybody heard last night that the Irish basically played a game of around and find out, and they lit up their city. And why, do you ask?
What?
Because Ireland are sick and tired of the governing class, who has let thousands of these migrants and illegal citizens into their countries and into their neighborhoods and into their streets, where they've caused violence against against their people.
Their people? What happened? All right. What's this? We learn.
Amidst the rumours, one thing's for sure. Last night, Dublin burned. Rage clearly directed at the police, looting. On the surface, an archetypal riot. So where did it start and why? There was a knife attack yesterday afternoon outside a primary school. 3 children were stabbed. One of them, a 5-year-old girl, was critically injured. 2 adults are also still in hospital. The incident likely a catalyst for the rioting. Very quickly, online, far-right leaders ramped up the rhetoric, describing the attacker as a foreigner, blaming immigration.
Unbelievable scenes in Dublin. Oh, that's not what Irish people sound like. This is what happens when an imported foreigner stabs your children. Then the state tries to silence your anger. Ireland got a taste of multiculturalism. What the hell? Your name is Britain first, and you're trying to talk about you caring about Ireland? Okay.
In fact, the Gardaí, the Irish police service, has issued very little detail. In a press release, it says the person of interest in this case is a man in his 50s and that he hasn't been arrested.
These criminals did not do what they did because they love Ireland. They did not do what they did because they wanted to protect Irish people. They did not do it out of any sense of patriotism, however warped. They did so because they're filled with hate.
In this video we found on a far-right social media platform, these men are accused of looting before being told to go back to their own country.
Go on back to their own country and do it.
The Gardaí has blamed the rioting on a complete lunatic hooligan faction, the Commissioner's words. And
a hooligan faction? I'm gonna write that down. Where's my phone? I know this is a serious topic, but the term hooligan faction, I gotta keep this one around. Shark, the guy who did the stabbing, was in the UK for 20 years after migrating. I mean, I don't know anything about the guy yet, but that wouldn't really surprise me.
the messaging app Telegram is the online space in which a lot of this ideology flourishes. In fact, a couple of years ago, a report revealed that from 2019 to 2020, there was a 7,000% jump in the numbers of messages sent by the Irish far right on the platform.
There is a housing emergency in this country and it continues to get worse. There is a lack of healthcare services available to people, a lack of general services available to people in their communities. And anti-immigrant groups are very good at weaponizing these issues to create an us versus them narrative. So it's not that every single person that is mobilized onto the street wants to kick out every person out of this country that isn't ethnically Irish, which is what the extreme far right wants to happen. But they are being mobilized because of these kind of wider social issues.
Earlier this year, anti-immigrant protesters gathered at a police station in a Dublin suburb. And in May, Leo Varadkar described as malign opportunism the burning down of a makeshift migrant camp in the city centre. Bar the pandemic, every week for 8 years, the Muslim Sisters of Era have run a soup kitchen on the high street for homeless people. But not tonight.
Looking at the videos that were coming in last night from the very place where we set up our soup room, that's in O'Connell Street, and looking at the sheer danger there, I had to sit with the board and take a collective decision of the safety of not only our team, but of our service users, because we do have immigrants on the queue for the food as well.
The Gardaí have faced criticism for not being tough enough on far-right extremists. Tonight, the leader of Sinn Féin described it as a collapse in policing.
Okay. A bunch of far-right influencers are trying to say that this attack was done by an quote-unquote illegal immigrant. Do they even know? Do we even know anything about the suspect yet? Do we even know anything about them yet? Dublin Riots, what we know about the stabbing attack. What happened in Dublin? 3 children were stabbed. Attack was also injured and under arrest. Was also injured and is under arrest. Police say they do not suspect the involvement of anyone else. According to local reports, the attack happened as pupils emerged from pupils. After the attack and violent unrest, police blamed far-right agitators for the violence. Then more than 400 officers, including many in riot gear, were deployed. And 34 people were arrested over the riots. Who was attacked? Who was behind the attack? Police say unrest was driven by lunatic hooligan faction, driven by a far-right ideology. and warned against misinformation. Did not comment on the identity or nationality of the detained man. So somebody said that they knew that the person was in England for like 2 years or like 20 years or something before the attack. Do we have any information on that at all? Does anybody have any information on that at all? Have our police said in June that the far right wasn't a problem here too? Yeah, it happens. Because they are. People say, where are the police from the far right attack? I ask you, where's Clark Kent when Superman's around? Where is he? Where's Bruce Wayne when you see Batman? A witness said that the scene was absolute bedlam. All right, these really are European people. As she initially watched events unfold on the street, without thinking, I just took to the road to help out. We got another young man disarmed the attacker with a knife. Another man took the knife and put it away for the police to find it. The grounds are injured. What was the motive behind the attack? He was asked about the potential terrorist link, and he didn't rule it out. Have never ruled out any possibility. They've appeared the slight change stance since earlier. Police said they were keeping an open mind about the terms of investigation, but were satisfied that there was no terrorist link. A standalone incident, not necessarily connected to the wider issue ongoing. Is the area safe? What are people saying? As a country, we need to reclaim Ireland. We need to take it away from the cowards who hide behind masks. No parties, main opposition, European Commission said they were shocked. And that night was an extraordinary outbreak of violence. You know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I want to keep an eye on this. This is interesting. I want to know if there's going to be right-wing commentators, especially here in the US, who are going to try to say that this is great, and then see how that compares to their statements on BLM. I just want to see what it would be like. It sounds very interesting to me. I really want to know. I can see it. I can see them being like, the beautiful Irish population stands up against the evil horde of disgusting migrants coming to destroy their people. So the riots were completely justified. Anti-migrant riots erupted in Dublin on Thursday night in the wake of the stabbing attack outside of the school that left 3 children injured. Wow. They don't write the word suspect once. Assailant isn't in here. Attacker. That's the word they use. And they use it once. The attacker, whose Irish media reported was understood to be a naturalized Irish citizen who had lived in the country for about 20 years, was injured and remains under guard. Police have seized the man's laptop and phone and searched the home as they seek for a motive for the attack. They have not ruled out terrorism or mental health reasons. Some carrying Irish Lives Matter banners. Wait, word spread on social media. Wait, how long were these riots after the stabbing? Wait, what day was this? This is the 24th. Okay, this was the 24th. When did the riots start? Wait, when did the riots start? Does anyone know? Yeah, Commerce. This was the same day. Wait a second, they were rioting the same day? You're telling me you had an Irish Lives Matter sign on you? They just had it in stockpile, or maybe they made it that night or something, I guess. Soon mobilized on the street of central Dublin, attacking and throwing projectiles at police and setting police cars on fire, bus, tram, and buildings on fire. And social media shows agitators harassing journalists while messaging on chat networks, urging rioters to mask themselves, tool up, and violently target migrants. Oh, as well as police and their home. Yo, these people are literally doing what they thought that like BLM protesters were doing back in 2020. This is exactly what these people were saying, that like BLM protesters are going through house to house to kill whiteys. These people are actually like writing on Telegram, yo, dude, kill as many migrants as you can see. What are you talking about? And watch conservatives be like, these guys are actually going crazy. These guys really know what's up. I swear they're about to say shit like that. Okay. Do you think we should make this into a full seggy? What do you guys think? We can work on this and turn this into a full seggy, huh? Because this is really interesting.
Last night that the Irish basically played a game of around and find out, and they lit up their city. And why do you ask? Because Ireland are sick and tired of the governing class who has let thousands of these migrants and illegal citizens into their countries and into their neighborhoods and into their streets, where they've caused violence.
Illegal citizens? I mean, all you had to do was do a little bit of reading and you could find out that this person's a naturalized citizen and has been one for 20 years. 20 whole years. But also, what the is an illegal citizen? What are you talking? She doesn't even know what she's talking about, man.
Violence against against their people. And you know
My
what?
people.
The governing class and the police didn't do shit about it. So the Irish did. The Irish have stood up against the governing class, which is exactly what all of us need to start doing, because more of this is going to continue to happen. How much more of our nation is everyone willing to sit back and watch as it gets totally eroded from the inside out?
Also, isn't this the same exact argument that like some BLM, that like some people who had a more lax view or a more sympathetic view on the BLM riots had? Like this like standing up against like the ruling class or whatever, but then conservatives would be like, yeah, but you're not standing up against the ruling class by burning down like a mom and pop shop and robbing a Target. Like, but that's actually just what that's what these people were doing. Wait, did you have the same energy in 2020? Did you have the same energy with the BLM riots? I'm just want to be super curious. I'm so curious about your opinion on all that, because I don't know, it's just interesting. It's an interesting thing to believe, personally. She wants far right people to target brown people. May not want it, but I don't know. She might be all right with it.
It starts with the indoctrinating of our kids in all of their classrooms and in their schools. It starts with the TV and the programs and the social media talking heads. You see, when the left go out and riot and deface public monuments and stop Thanksgiving parades from happening with their bullshit, well, that's called peaceful protesting, you see. But when the right does it, when the people stand up against the governing class, like in Ireland, what do they call it? All the media jump on board, and what do they say? Right-wing rhetoric. No, this is called the people standing up and saying enough is enough.
Just a quick question. How many people were hospitalized during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade blockage? That's a really important question that I think we all need answered. How many people were killed? How many people were hospitalized? How many people were attacked there? And how many were attacked by the people who were doing that rioting, protesting? They specifically were like, let's target as many brown people as you see. Oh, when you stand in front of a giant inflatable monkey D. Luffy from the famous manga series One Piece. Oh, that's peaceful protest. But when we burn down an entire city and beat brown people to death, apparently it's right-wing rhetoric. Okay. So true. One Piece.
And you know what? More needs to happen. All of you people that are like Palestine to the sea, all that bullshit, I don't think it's so easy to
I do be like Palestine to the sea sometimes. Palestine to the windows, to the wall, even.
In the safety and comfort of America, where you know you are accepted and perfectly safe by causing nothing but chaos and bull. And people are getting sick and tired of it. How many more videos you can see of
Don't you guys hate it when activists keep causing bullshit?
Protesters where people have had enough and they grab them and they toss them to the side of the road and drive through. More people need to start standing up. How much more are we willing to watch our country be eroded from the inside out by the governing class who has let tens of millions of people walk into this country with no background checks, no...
What the hell is her opinions on protest then? Like, the people in Ireland... It was more violent than like 90% of the BLM protests. And even then, that many people weren't even hurt in like many BLM protests. Sorry, in many BLM riots that happened. Not even protests, riots that's just straight up happened. More people were hurt there. So like what's your criteria for like a good and bad protest? Because she's against standing in front of a parade, and that's bad. But like attacking people on the street the day after like a stabbing takes place, that's like super great. What's your opinion? That's what it's all about. What do you believe? Do you believe anything besides my side gets to kill as many people as possible and your side doesn't have the right to protest? Is that just all that happens here?
Money, no housing, and you and I, the taxpayers, are going to have to pay for it. How much more are we willing to stand up? Because Dublin and the Irish basically said, around and find out, and they lit up Dublin last.
Who taught conservatives the term around and find out? Because they're just using it completely incorrectly. Who around? The migrants for entering Ireland legally? Who found out? The migrants for walking home from work? Like, what are you talking about? What are you even saying? What's even going on right now?
night against the governing class. I keep saying this. We outnumber them. So how much more are we willing to sit back and watch as our country gets torn apart by the sickos, our women and our women's sports being pushed aside?
We got any sickos here in chat? You got to tell me if you're a sicko, right? We don't have any sickos here, do we? I hope not. Good Lord. They're tearing apart our whole country, man. Anything but the goddamn sickos. I'm going sicko mode. Don't do it.
In our safe places and in our bathrooms. And if you dare speak out and if you dare say, no, I'm not okay with this as a woman, well, you're just a hateful bigot, right?
How in the world did we get the trans people here based on migration and... Why are we talking about how she just turned into a random trans... Doesn't even remember this. Remember, we're supposed to be talking about the riots in Dublin. And she just randomly just started talking about trans people... like kicking balls more than her. What's going on, man? Wake up.
No, this has to stop. And the only way it stops is if more and more of us stand up and stand together and say we're done with the bull. Riley Gaines just won a lawsuit of like $1.2 million because she stood up amongst the sea of hate and said, no, you're not doing this. And
I want to see something about this. Riley Gaines settles lawsuit against swimmer Leah Thomas for $1.2 million, rating labeled satire. Oh no. On August 15, 2023, the Dunning-Krueger Times published an article. Oh no! No! She didn't pull an article from the Dunning-Krueger Times. Oh, you can't be serious. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No. She's like, actually, guys, you should watch this. This is really good. This is why conservative comedy doesn't work, because they believe it. They're like, conservatives be like, do not tell jokes. I will believe it. That's crazy. Okay, wait. The Dunning-Krueger Times published an article posting that the former University of Kentucky... I forgot that she's in Kentucky. I hate this lady. Riley Gaines settled a lawsuit with former University of Pennsylvania swimmer Leah Thomas for $1.2 million. Gaines is known for criticizing an NCAA decision that allowed Thomas, who is transgender, to compete against Gaines in a women's competition race. The Dunning-Krueger article goes like this. Obviously, it just says the same thing. NCC had nothing to say about it, so Riley did what she had to do to get a lawyer. After more than a year, it finally paid off. Gaines settled out of court with Thomas for $1.2 million. However, this item was not a factual recounting of the real-life events. The Dunning-Krueger Times described itself as a subsidiary of America's Last Line of Defense network of parody, satire, and tomfoolery. No, not a network of parody, satire, and tomfoolery. So what you're telling me is that they're literally a part of the hooligan faction. Wait, this is the hooligan faction. We found them. Remember how we talked about that just mere moments ago? We found the hooligan faction. It's them. Anybody up? Want to be a part of the hooligan faction? Yeah, we're hooligans. We are professionals in tomfoolery and pranksters and pranksterisms. That's wild. Okay. All right then. That's quite interesting. That's super interesting. That's okay. A search of Facebook for an article's headline showed that it was being shared by users who appeared to believe it was a real news story. For example, the article was shared by the Friends of Conservatism in America First Facebook group, where multiple commentators reacted as if Gaines truly had settled the lawsuit with Thomas. Under another post with the article, someone commented, "Wasn't big enough settlement. Riley deserves more money. Just think of the product endorsement she could have achieved if she was declared the winner. She wasn't. She didn't even come in second place, right? She didn't even come anywhere near actually winning, right? Like there was no way she was going to actually like have any product placements or anything, right? Like Leah Thomas didn't take anything from this swimmer. She's a bad swimmer who wasn't going to do anything. And so instead of just like stopping being in college sports like a normal person does and getting a normal job, she instead decided to become a right-wing conservative anti-trans talking head and make that her job instead. The one trick pony, the girl who cemented herself as as her entire being that one lady who lost to Leah Thomas once. That's wild. The crazy thing about it is that Leah Thomas like actually moved on with her life. Leah Thomas isn't doing sports anymore because most people who do sports in college don't continue to do sports when they're like full adults, because almost nobody does sports when they're actually adults. So they just like moved on with their life, and are now working like a normal job, while conservatives are still unable to get over it. Yeah, you could have just like, instead of like succumbing to being like the head of the Leah Thomas fan club, like the president of the Leah Thomas fan club, she could have simply just like gotten good at swimming. Like, I really hate to be the one to say it, because she could have just like become good at swimming instead. But instead she decided to do this, which is quite sad. Could you imagine Leah Thomas is just somewhere working like a tech job or something, and then she loads up her phone every once in a while just to see like an angry conservative still has her name in their mouth, like multiple years after her last race? Because they talk about because Leah Thomas didn't even win that much. Just like another thing that some people don't really remember or realize, conservatives don't even remember this, or they didn't even think about it. Every single thing that Leah Thomas did while in swimming for Pennsylvania, every single thing, every possible record that she broke, every milestone that she possibly could have made has been completely overtaken and outshined by a cis woman who was her junior at the school in Pennsylvania. There are no records that are owned by Leah Thomas right now, and there are no records. I believe there's still no records owned by any trans person in Pennsylvania in women's sports at all right now. All of them are cis women, because trans women aren't because 99.99999% of trans women aren't putting through numbers that isn't like inconceivable for a cis woman to be able to compete with. That's just not something that's happening. And proof by Leah Thomas not swimming anymore and having a normal life and having no records currently held. But I don't know, a lot of these people just think really lowly of women to begin with. I don't know, they just don't think women have it in them to be impressive when it comes to sports at all. They just can't do it. Women are just simply below men in many ways. They believe intellectually. I think they think women are better than men at like dropping milk from their titties and feeding babies, maybe changing diapers, cooking, doing clothes, doing the laundry, I don't know, filling up the dishwasher. But outside of that, I don't think that they believe that women are capable of doing anything else in this world, especially compared to somebody who's like somebody who was born with a pee-pee. The Dunning-Kruger Times About Us page says everything on this website is fiction. The website uses the term taters for people who supposedly believe untrue stories, saying taters are the conservative fans of America's last line of defense. They are fragile, frightened, mostly older Caucasian Americans. Not calling out the Caucasoids like that. Leave them alone. They're trying their best. They believe nearly anything. While we go out of our way to educate them that not everything they agree with is true, they are still old, typically ignorant, and again, very afraid of everything. Our mission is to do our best to show them the light through shame if necessary, and to have a good time doing it, because old and afraid or not, these people are responsible for the patriarchy we're railing so hard against. They don't understand logic, and they couldn't care less about reason. Facts are irrelevant, but they do understand shame. I think we say this sometimes. I think we say this sometimes. I remember a little while ago, I was reading some comments from some conservatives. I think it was on r/conservatives, and they were like doomer posting about it. They're like, we've lost so many elections. We're so far behind on the culture war. They're like this and that. Yeah, we've gotten some wins, but I don't think a lot of those will really last. And they kept saying things like, I don't know how we're going to really recover from this one. The party is so fractured and we don't have like a solid, way to move forward. And all the left just like completely hates us and says terrible things about us. And they keep saying things like the only thing that we understand is power. And so I don't know what to do. So they're using their power against us. What do we do, guys? Frogs, how do we get out of this one? And honestly, I was just like, I hope you don't. And I hope it hurts. But I hope you have a better life sometime. Wait, no, look. America's last line of defense. Wait, it says it right there. The Dunning-Kruger Times. Wait, no, no. No, in her screenshot, it says Dunning-Kruger Times. No, lady. Did you not read? It says it right there. Is this real? Yes, it's real. This is a real conservative, dude. This is crazy. That's a good ass meme. America's last line of defense. She's really making it happen. Ain't no way she can't read. It's too dank. It's way too dank.
He stood up amongst the sea of hate and said, no, you're not doing this. And more of us need to start standing together. My family's locked, loaded, and ready. How much more?
What the hell does that mean? Are you planning to shoot trans people? What are you talking about? You're telling me if your little girl has a soccer event and you think one of the fucking soccer players has a dick, you'll just like pull out your gun and start firing into the field? What are you talking about? What do you mean lock, loaded, and ready? For what? The dick police. It's the penis inspectors. Yeah, but the thing is, conservatives are literally the penis inspectors. I remember going through a story where in Florida, the DeSantis regime made it so that girls have to now put through their menstrual cycle history to be able to play soccer. For some reason, that's the type of stuff that's going on with conservatives. It's crazy. I'm going to college to become a penis inspector. I think that's the only college degree that conservatives would respect these days, honestly. Certified penis inspector.
What's your breaking point? How much more of our country are you willing to watch slide into recession while the rich politicians get rich off of our backs while causing and funneling war money of our money into other countries' wars while Americans...
Wait! Weren't you just getting mad at people protesting America's involvement in the Israeli-Hamas war by wanting to provide Israel with more arms to continue their... What? How did you okay. Wait, wasn't she just like them dang dirty leftist protesters ruining my Thanksgiving Day parade? And now she's like, we gotta stop them from giving our... What do you mean? You don't believe anything, lady? I hate you. I hate this lady so much. I hate her so much. That's crazy. No consistency, no media literacy, only greed. That's it. That's it. No consistency, no media literacy, no critical thinking. Only transphobia and racism, and that's it. Girl, huh? She's like, oh yeah, just so you realize, we gotta stop them rich men north of Richmond from having them taking their gerbs. You know what I mean? You gotta remember that, guys. That's really important. Imagine expecting consistency from rightoids. So true.
Suffer. How much more? You can't even have a Thanksgiving Day parade without the crazies.
What the She's actually doing it. Wait, what do you want them to do? Just make TikTok videos? Is that it? Do you think that you're doing more work making TikTok videos than somebody protesting in the street? I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that my work is more important than like actual activists. My work is supposed to help create more actual activists, not necessarily YouTubers, but you know, you can do both, really. It's crazy. Okay.
It's real easy to stand in the comfort and safety of America. If you really stood with them, you'd be standing over in Gaza with your cardboard signs, but you know you're not going to do that.
Because Israel would bomb them. Because Israel would turn them into red mist, actually. Also, I'm an American, not a Gazan.
Why? Because you wouldn't be standing long.
Yeah, you're right. Israel would bomb you. Israel would drop a missile on your head, paid for by the American taxpayer. That's what would happen. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.